This is the State of South Carolina Residential Property Condition Disclosure Statement. This document is used for the seller to provide any information or knowledge they have about systems in the home, HOA, and other information about the home that the buyer may want to know. The seller has the option to select yes, no, or no representation for whatever items are being asked on this document. This first page simply describes how the owners should fill out this document. First section is the property address that will be added on this line. And every page, the owner and the purchaser will initial at the bottom. Number 1 is water supply and sanitary sewage disposal system. The questions beneath will be a yes, a no, or no representation on whether the seller knows of any problems concerning those particular items. A, B, and C are asking questions about water supply, water disposal, and water pipes, where the seller will check whichever box suits the specific home. The second section is going to be roof, chimneys, floors, foundation, basement, and other structural components and modifications of these structural components. The roof, the gutter, foundation, slab, fireplaces, etc. Approximate year that the roof was installed, the year will go here. And then during your ownership, describe any roof system leaks and repairs that will be included here. This is going to be when the house was actually built or whatever structure we're referring to. As a reminder, if the seller is unsure of any of these, they will select no representation. Number 3 is plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling, and other mechanisms. It goes on to ask about those specific mechanisms on whether there's any issues, and the seller will put yes, no, or no representation. And on the bottom, of course, there's the signature page. And this goes on to ask additional questions about the cooling, heating, and HVAC. Here is where the seller will actually input the HVAC system's age and any other information about any other HVAC systems they may have in the home. The next section is going to be about past or present infestation of wood-destroying insects or organisms, or dry rot or fungus, the damage from which has not been repaired. A, B, and C specifically ask questions regarding these, and the seller will input information to the best of their knowledge about them. Number 5 is going to be about zoning laws, restrictive covenants, building codes, and other land use restrictions that may affect the real property. Questions 15 through 25 ask questions in regards to that. And of course, the owner and purchaser will initial at the bottom of that page. The next section is going to be about buried, unburied, or covered presence of lead-based paint, lead hazards, asbestos, radon gas, methane gas, storage tanks, hazardous materials, etc. This question is going to specifically ask the seller to describe any known property environmental contamination problems coming from items listed here. Seller will input answer in the blanks. Number 7, existence of a rental, rental management, vacation rental, or other lease contract anticipated to be in place on the property at the time of closing. If there's any information to be disclosed, that will go in these sections here. The existence of a meter conservation charge as permitted by section 583750 that applies to electricity or natural gas service to the property. That would be information that goes here. And if the property is subject to an HOA or homeowners association, then the owner will check yes here and then complete the attached residential property disclosure statement addendum. As we move a little further down page 4, this space will be used for the yes answers to anything that was answered yes above. And then more information about the property, current status of property, or factors which may affect the closing. That will be disclosed here. And then here it asks if a residential property condition disclosure statement is attached. If it is attached, then you'll select this checkbox here. This next section is going to be for the owners to sign and print their name. And then the purchaser acknowledges prior to signing this disclosure the items listed below. From there, the purchaser signs, prints their name, and that concludes that part of the document. If there is an HOA, then this is going to be the addendum that is attached to this property condition disclosure statement. Property address is going to be here. Owners association charges are going to be included here. So if there is a yearly association charge, that amount of money per year will be included here. Or if it's a monthly charge or semi-annually, that would be included here. All contact information for the owners association is going to be included here. And then the next part is asking the seller if they have any knowledge of answers to the following questions, and they check yes, no, or no representation as it relates to these questions. So for example, are there any association charges or common area expenses? Has the owners association or CCRBR resale or residential restrictions? Has the owners association levied any special assessments or similar charges? And it goes on down to ask questions as it relates to the HOA and what they cover. Remember, if you're unsure as a seller, you should be putting no representation, but you definitely want to answer to the best of your ability to accurately represent your property to the buyer purchasing your home. Anything that's answered yes, there will be a small description section here, and then any additional sheets or relevant documents should be attached to this. And then finally, owner signatures and purchaser signature. This concludes the State of South Carolina Residential Property Condition Disclosure Statement, as well as the State of South Carolina Residential Property Condition Disclosure Statement Addendum.